Hey दोस्तों, welcome to Nexa Domain. In this video, we are going to show how to create class morphism login form using HTML and CSS code. So without wasting time, let's begin. Class morphism is a term used to describe the UI design that emphasizes light or dark object placed on the top of colorful background. The object is being blurred, which allows the background to it, giving it the impression of roasted grass. Glass morphism is a new design trend that is currently very popular. You will see it all over the websites such as Dribbble, and even big companies like Apple and Microsoft are using it. In this tutorial, we are going to use HTML and CSS, so all you need is a browser and a code editor. The final element that we are going to build will look something like this. Let's start with writing HTML code. Begin with basic HTML5 markup structure. Also create a style sheet to keep our HTML file clean and structured. Style sheet will contain all CSS coding related to styles. You can name it anything followed by CSS extension. Most of the developer usually name it style.css and include location of CSS file in head section of HTML file. Also create a style sheet to keep our HTML file clean and structured. Now let's add some basic style to our body tag. 4.5 rem padding, margin 0, background having linear gradient of black and blue separated by 90 degrees with 58% filled with first color. Body background is looking great now. Instead of gradient color in background, you can also use colorful image. To make UI more greater, let's add two colorful circles in the background using HTML and CSS code. Although these two circles are not part of the design, we have created these two circles to make background of the design more beautiful. You can also use any other image instead of these. In HTML, add div element with class background. Background class element will contain layout for form, and inside it create two empty elements having class shape. In CSS, width of 430 pixel and height of 520 pixel will be okay for background element with absolute position and aligning it at the center using transform, left and top CSS. Height and width of 200 pixel will be okay for colorful circle. Using first style selector, we will select first shape and will give background of gradient dark and light blue at some negative 80 pixel from left and top to the background. Similarly, using large style selector, we will select second shape and style it accordingly. You can play with numbers and color to get the desired result. Now, creating the basic structure of glass morphism login form. Heading over CSS, it is better to have form with 400 pixel width and height 522 pixel with white background having opacity of 13%. It would be great to blur the form's background with 10 pixel blur background filter. Box shadow of 60% opaque black color will add great look. Now changing all elements inside the form with white color to match with dark background. Other styles are optional. Add heading to the form in HTML and give some styling to it. Now create label and input for username and password or email and password, whatever you want, choice is all yours. We will also add some basic styling to label and input. We gave 50 pixel height of input space and semi-transparent background color. For other properties, after lot of hit and trial, we found this value suitable. For saving your precious time, we skip show our tries. However, you could play with the CSS for different values and properties. After that, add the login button to the form. Adding 50% margin from top will differentiate the button with above labels and input. White button with dark text and spanning 100% white will look nice. Change the cursor value with the pointer. Other stylings are optional. Also adding social button for login will create great user interface. Create two social button after the login button. For that we need brand image or brand icon. We will fetch icon using Font Awesome icons. Include Font Awesome style sheet link inside the head of the document. We use CDN link, however you are free to download and host icons locally. In HTML, we will create social class element after the login button. First button will be for Google. Create I element and in class type FAB space FA-Google for fetching Google icon. Similarly, for FB icon, create another I element and in class type FAB space FA-Facebook for fetching Facebook icons. To know more about Font Awesome icon, we would suggest you to visit Font Awesome official website and check the given documentation there. Social button also needs some styling. 150 pixel in length and semi-transparent background will match with our dark UI theme. Now our UI is fully ready. For source code and demo, check the link in the description. Hope you have learned and enjoyed this tutorial. We will meet next time with something new. Thanks for watching.